welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow. You're watching Super Achievers Making New India, powered by VoiceFort, a very special edition where we talk to super achievers across different industries and business. One such super achiever in focus tonight is someone who needs no introduction as part of most homes and kitchens across the country. I'm in conversation with TTK Prestige. Also in focus tonight is Asia's largest API infrastructure company, M2P Fintech.
TTK Prestige, part of TTK Group, has emerged as India's largest kitchen appliance company for over 6 decades now. Today, TTK Prestige has a varied product portfolio from pressure cookers, non-stick cookwares, gas stoves, electrical appliances, and many more. TTK Prestige comes with an innovation-first approach. It has a manufacturing powerhouse and India's only integrated cookware plant with state-of-the-art facilities to manufacture cookware appliances. The manufacturing unit is embedded for induction base with an automated press line and forged cookware capability. It also has an automated hard anodizing plant and many other production features that deliver products efficiently. Today, the TTK Group spans 30 product categories with 7 group companies and a turnover that crosses 30 billion rupees.
In this first conversation, I'm speaking with the MD of TTK Prestige to talk to them about innovation, how they manage to maintain their lead when it comes to different segments in the home as well as kitchen market, and also what the future is looking like. Listen. So good speaking with you and with someone who's a household name. I think whether or not you are a proficient cook like me, you would definitely have heard of TTK Prestige, and you would definitely have products from your range, some of your products in our kitchens and in our homes. So good speaking with you today.
Indeed, Sunanda. Thank you. Same here.
Let me start off by saying perhaps we can talk about what the past year and a half has been. It's been a difficult period for most businesses and companies and for us as individuals, and so much has changed. Maybe just taking a bit of a back step to say how things perhaps been in the last year and a half for you.
So first of all, COVID was tough for everyone, but there has been a different thing for us, especially in the kitchen appliance industry. When people get locked down, they have nothing else to do. We saw that people went to the kitchen.
Yeah, baking, banana bread and
sending out Facebook, today I made this, today I did this, all that was happening. So there was a lot of focus on the kitchen. I mean, while we were all feeling bad about what happened, especially in the second wave, the focus on the kitchen meant that a higher share of wallet came to kitchen appliances at the height of COVID. And therefore people bought more, people refurbished kitchens because people were themselves cooking, even in homes where they had maids using the utensils. In the lockdown, there were no maids. Everything that was easier to clean became something that they wanted. Everything that would help convenience, when they could chop, they could knead, all those gadgets became something that people wanted. So there was a higher share of wallet. So in the last 1.5 years, we actually grew. This industry grew. So, most industries are talking about pre-COVID, they're getting back to pre-COVID levels. Actually, we grew over the pre-COVID levels, right, in these 2 years. In fact, that is getting reversed this year. Because as things get opened up, people are now looking at going out, going to malls, taking holidays. So you've seen now that the share of wallet is going back to luggage industry, all the flights are full, the hotels are having a good time. So that share of wallet is going back to where it was, with a vengeance, if you might say. So we're kind of getting back to normal this year. So it's been a volatile 2 years, I would say, in that sense.
Okay, so help us understand, some products that you have, perhaps, you have dominance as far as, say, cooker and the utensils markets are concerned. You have a lot of players who exist in the stove market and, when it comes to the stoves. So any specific markets or segments that you're chasing after?
So, simple insights. Indian kitchens are cleaned every day, right? Which is why this whole emphasis on Swachh platform that we have brought on. All it does is help you clean your gas stove much cleaner. So there are simple things like this that we are delivering to.
And the product is right
The
behind
product
us.
is right here. You can see it. It's so easy to clean, and it's something that you do every day. And these are things that people really like. This is also one of the most efficient gas stoves in the market. So you have gas, you're not consuming more gas than necessary. You've got a jumbo burner that helps you cook faster, which is what I said, time saving and health, because it satisfies every single emission standard that you can come across. So these are some of the ways that we actually bring about products. And gas stoves is a huge market. It's a huge upgrade market. Because while a gas stove lasts for 10 years, if you find something that's significantly better for you, you would actually go and upgrade yourself. That's why you see that most of our proposition to the customer is come and exchange your old gas stove. That's what we do all the time.
Fantastic. I want to talk also about the fact that we've just come off the festive period, and everyone has been offering discount sales, etc. When it comes to pricing and discounts as a strategy, what are your thoughts on that?
So we have an honest pricing strategy, very simple. We neither make opportunistic profits, nor do we like to sell products at a loss. So we have a certain cost plus strategy, for want of any other word, which we have followed. And that has held us in good stead.
Sure.
And we try to deliver extra value for the product price that the customer pays through the innovation that we come up with.
Okay. The segment of the interview that we're doing is what we call super achievers, making new India, and a business like yours exemplifies what we mean by super achievers. What do you think, perhaps, by way of maybe this answer, if you can do a masterclass of sorts for our viewers to say, these are the 2 or 3 things that have worked for us at TTK Prestige that we continue doing, and this has been my learning, and this is what you want to give our viewers?
I think 2 or 3 things. One is that be customer focused. You must give customer what they are looking for and not sell what you have. It's very simple. Second thing is, your business ethic must be one of a win-win. That means every stakeholder in your business must win when you win. It cannot be that you win at the expense of somebody else. That's not a sustainable equation at all. And the third thing is to make sure that you are all the time providing support to the customer right through the life cycle of the customer.
Sure.
So that is why we are able to retain customers.
Sure. Walking around your office, one can't help but notice that everywhere you see, you have great place to work, and you're one of the great places to work, and you've won that recognition and award over the past few years. What do you think makes you a great place to work? And talk to us about your hiring policies and your advice for entrepreneurs who are watching this interview to say how they too perhaps can become good places to work.
So it's not uncommon in this office to find people who work more than 20 years. So that's one thing. I mean,
sure.
The fact that we are...
Have you completed 20 years?
My 30th year.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. So that's how we look at. We always tell people, if you want a career, come to us. If you want a job, go somewhere else.
Okay.
Because we will offer you a career.
Sure.
And that we have always followed. We've looked at things long term, and we always advise our employees to look at things long term.
Sure.
And therefore, the set of values that we propagate and the culture that we propagate has been one of openness, has been one of transparency, has been one of empathy. These are some of the values that we've propagated. If we are a great place to work, or if we are judged that, it's because of these things.
So as we're ending today's interview, if you can talk to us about really what is on your radar and on your plate, so to speak, for the new year.
So we continue to bring out new products, the new innovations that we have. We bring out between 75 and 100 new products, and we will continue to do that. And I believe that we will go after the grinding appliances where we are not yet leaders.
Sure.
That offers us a huge opportunity for growth. That offers us, because that's a very large segment within our portfolio. And of course, focus on geographies where we have relatively poorer shares as compared to some other geographies.
Like which ones? Can you give us an insight?
So some areas in the non-south, in the cow belt, for example, those are areas where we are relatively lower than some other areas.
Sure.
We are looking at some of these markets and look at products, strategies, channel strategies for these markets. And that's how we want to go for next year.
Okay. One thing we haven't discussed is the role that digitization plays when it comes to kitchen appliances. And do those two things really go hand in hand? And, what's your own approach to that?
But we don't know. I mean, we've just launched one IoT-enabled product in the last 1 month.
Okay.
We have 2 more coming.
Sure.
So I don't know how much of the customers will take in. Is it? I feel there's value. I feel there are use cases. I mean, I'll just give you an example.
Sure.
If you are now going back home and you've already loaded up your rice cooker with food, and if you can tell your rice cooker from your phone now that I'm driving home, start the cooking, I'll come, and you get piping hot food,
yeah.
I think it's value.
Absolutely.
So that there are things like this that we are talking about.
Sure.
If you can, we have a kettle which is IoT enabled, internet enabled. So there are some products which we are looking at in this area. Digitization is also happening in our processes. So for example, we have a large e-commerce focus. We are focusing on now actually integrating our stores onto the website. So these are some of the areas which we are working with.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll slip into a short break on that note. When we come back, M2P Fintech is in focus. Back in just a moment. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on Super Achievers Making New India, powered by VoiceWhat. In conversation tonight with my colleague Ritvika Gupta is M2P Fintech.
Thank you, Madhu, for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
So, before we get to talking about M2P, I actually want to ask you to give us an overview of the fintech industry in India, and especially because India is known as the fintech factory of the world. So, what kind of impact do you think we have globally?
Yeah, I think it's important to understand, what we've gone through over the last 10 years with respect to the fintech action. And it's important to actually compare what India has achieved vis-a-vis the Western market, which is typically seen as the first world as far as technology action is concerned.
Right.
What fintechs are solving for in the US, for instance, is what is defined as first order problems, which is how do you get access to your bank account? How do you make fund transfer easier? Those are all now become native for us, right? In the sense, you don't really worry about why transfer this money, has it reached the recipient or not?
Okay.
We are actually become fintech natives in that sense. So therefore, a lot of the fintech action that's playing out in India is the second order or the second wave of fintech action, which can actually drive inclusion, which can bring new products to the market. And that's why, like you said, India will become the fintech factory where we would, lead the trail in terms of building out products that other markets will start, taking and launching in their own way.
Right. So let's go back to the very beginning. You, along with your co-founders, founded M2P in 2014. And this was an API infrastructure company, to help businesses, embed financial services to their platforms. So from then till now, what's your sense like? How's the journey been? And starting with the genesis, the idea behind M2P.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, when we started out, I think the problem statement, we have stayed true to that even today. We just saw an opportunity to actually go out and help businesses. Obviously, about 8-9 years ago, fintech as an buzzword didn't exist. It was largely what we saw in our day job while we were working at Visa. My co-founder and I were working with Visa. We found that a lot of companies wanted to add payments to make it easier for their customers. In a sense, they wanted to embed payments into their workflows. And banks, while they were intent, the infrastructure that they had did not, yield itself to delivering some of these ideas that they were working on. That's the opportunity that we saw.
Right. So, picking up from what you said, how do you think our businesses, of smaller scale, larger organizations, how are they adopting to this technology? How are they taking to API?
So I think the way the product evolution has happened for us as well is to really think about if I just draw parallel from the internet ecosystem, is if you reset the operating system, you can build better products, right? After iPhone came into existence, you had the whole app economy that opened up.
Right.
What that allowed people to do, you could be a college kid building a gaming application, but it gave you a platform where you could express yourself in terms of putting that in an app store, and millions of users could potentially download, right? Likewise, we believe that banks will become this platform where regulated products can get manufactured, and anybody with an imagination can actually sort of go out and offer financial products that that they could distribute.
So earlier this year, you acquired 5 startups. Tell me, what was the motivation behind it, and how have these acquisitions helped you as a business to scale your business and really add value to the ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, we were of this worldview that there is a lot of problems that needs to be solved to kind of deliver on the promise that we've had. And when we looked around, there were a bunch of companies that were doing interesting work. And the single biggest driver was that the teams that were working on some of these ideas had a very innate understanding of what they were solving for in a particular area. We just felt that they would be best placed to sort of do that. While as a platform, we were able to, we were lucky to go out and raise some capital, get a distribution. It gives them, those founders, a platform to actually express their, whatever they were working on a lot more, broader way.
Thank you for joining us. So,
pleasure is mine as well. Yeah.
So I want to kick this off by asking you to tell us the M2P story, how it all started.
Okay, it's interesting. Interesting background, I would say. So we, being TAM guys in Mumbai, we worked in Visa for 5 years together.
Right.
But in different departments, I would say, right? So we go for chai together. So that's how it started actually. We go for chai and we used to discuss, what are the white spaces or what are the opportunities that are there. Why? Because the product that I was developing took 2 years to launch. So that was the fundamental thesis, that everywhere we see there's a lot of time to create a product and take it to the market, right? We used to discuss a lot what are the hurdles and stuff and how we can solve it, but not really wanting to do a startup, but being in the job, how can we solve it? How can we expedite those things? We were talking those days, apart from other chit-chats, of course.
Tell me, APIs have become, very imperative in the digital economy. How can a platform like yours, M2P, how can it help in better, inclusion, financial inclusion, and also give access to financial products?
A lot of products that we power actually. So we are B2B, we are an infrastructure player. So we ensure the rails, like the problem that I explained in the 2 years to launch, we reduced initially to the 6 months. Now it's actually 6 weeks or even a 6 day. Somebody has a creative product, can launch, test, and then see whether it works or not. So because you had to invest 2 years earlier days, there are a lot of barriers, entry barriers.
Yeah.
Now that with that innovation, people can come in, quickly launch, and focused. For example, in the where there are no financial access, right? They can, only cash is a predominant delivery, right?
Yeah.
So in that we can use nowadays everybody uses mobile, at least whoever has access to it. Everybody uses mobile. Using mobile as a predominant player, okay? How do we solve it? Providing mobile app is one of the things, but how do we otherwise solve it? Even SMS or they don't need a payment instrument to access your payments today, like JPay works and all that, right?
Yeah.
So this was our thought process, and by reaching the last mile, the people who does not have a financial access, right? How we did is there are a lot of how we promote. We shorten this cycle of innovation.
Right.
That's what our rails, that's what the API structure, infrastructure provide. So within 6 days, we want to try out, get the agreement done with a financial institution which we have partnered with. There are about plenty, probably around 25 financial institutions, banks, NBFCs that we are partnered with. Pick and do the marriage and then launch in 6 days. If you are able to get the signature, or probably 6 weeks at the max, right? So that the people who want to give these services to the last mile, try to test out, they can do this within 6 weeks and then probably do it for 6 months and then see how it takes off or evolve as a product. So that's how we help reach the last mile, delivery of the financial products.
Right. So if you could also talk to us about your cloud native products and how that's helping the ecosystem.
So I wouldn't call ourselves a cloud native. What I would call cloud agnostic. So how the code or app which has been built is cloud agnostic.
Right.
While cloud native gives a lot of benefits because it's native. It's like Windows application running on Windows. Okay, Unix application running on Unix. What we build is it can run on both. Right, so it's agnostic. But what we are doing is it's exactly like be local where you are, right? But it's a global, right? So that's how the applications are built. So when any of the cloud, AWS, Google, or Azure, right? All this are we can deploy our code. But we also have built adapters to use the native services. So that it can be, it can extract the both of the world, right? I can deploy anywhere, but also the adapters built to connect to the native. So that's how it helps us as well as clients in terms of best use of the resources that's available.
Right. I also want to talk about, the trends in technology that you are observing these days. Are there anything that you're excited about in the coming years?
Yeah, definitely. If you would have noticed, there was a demo about, automated Google Assistant, right? There was a demo on that, right? So that's how it's going to evolve, right? Yeah. So more and more automation is going to come. Does not mean less jobs. Does not mean less jobs. That's the counterproductive argument that I would say. But it is going to be more and more jobs, but more and more automation is going to come. When it automates, right, which essentially means people will have a lot of time to think, be creative. So that lot of what I'm seeing that is, it is going to help. The technology is going to help. Going to create more and more entrepreneurs is what I'm saying. So the technology trends that are coming in, like whatever, right? You don't need any device tomorrow, even to talk to a person who is in overseas. You don't need any device, right? That you are going to wear something, right? Some shirt or button or ring. That will be your access. That's going to be that way. It's going definitely it's going to happen, right? But it's not about excitement. That's how it's going to evolve. So we have to be prepared in terms of how it's going to evolve and where we can contribute to both the humanity as well as to the technology, right? Where we can contribute, that we will continue to do.
Out of time on tonight's interview. So if you have any feedback for us, do let us know. Our contact details on your screens as we speak. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.